Why canned food does not expire? I heard an expert say so it has to be true. Well, yeah, kind of, but there's a little bit more to it than just that. Folks, welcome to the channel, The Modern Survivalist. As always, if you want to learn more about survival and preparedness in the realistic, practical way that I've been doing it for many, many years now, you have the channel with a lot of content. Consider subscribing. You have the button right there, and you will have it again at the end of the video. And you have my books, which are maybe the best way of incorporating so many years of doing this, the knowledge acquired. Street survival skills, as well as surviving the economic collapse. So in my books, I've written the same thing. Yes, in theory, canned food should not expire because it's sterilized inside, right? Right? Well, yeah, but no. Or maybe sort of. Not very clear, is it? Well, the truth is the following. You want to go by expiration dates nonetheless. This thing about canned food and food being sterilized inside a container not expiring, even if it's a glass jar, at least in theory it is true. And it is true that the expiration date is mostly, in many of these cases, it's mostly like a way of going by in terms of when I need to replace or when I should probably eat it before a certain date, right? That's why the best before date. And I feel very comfortable about that. You know, if you have a best before date, try eating it then. Now, if it's been a couple months after that, I would not panic over it. A few months may not be the end of the world. I've even opened like cans of tuna that was well within after a year of expiration, and it was just fine. You could safely eat that, right? Now, does that mean that any can of whatever will last forever? Well, the answer is no. There's going to be a time in which whatever is inside maybe has not gone bad, but has degraded, has lost flavor, nutritional properties for sure, smells bad, and you honestly should not even be eating it because it could even be dangerous. Not all things store the same. Tomato is quite acid and will eventually eat and corrode through whatever can it happens to be in. Meats may hold on a little bit better or worse depending on exactly what you're looking at. But my point here is the following. Trying to give you a proper answer is you have expiration dates for a reason. Is it the end-all answer to everything, and does it magically explode the day after expiration date? Of course not. Try to stay within the expiration dates of the things you have. If the can says eat before 2025, try to eat it before 2025 and whatever months it says. Has it passed a few months after that? I would not be worried. What if I come across a can after the end of the world and I'm roaming the wasteland with my FAL rifle and I find a can of Spam that has expired 5 years ago? Well, the proper way to go about this is, first of all, can I avoid having to eat that? Do I have better options? It is not worth risking your life eating something that could be in bad condition, especially with meats, especially with anything that could have a negative result if you go with something that's dangerous. Okay, I have no option and this is the only food I have. Okay, the thing you do is you open it and you smell it. Does it smell bad? Don't eat it. I've had something happen to me before by which I had I think it was tomato sauce, a glass jar of tomato sauce. In theory, it should be sterilized. In theory, it should last forever. Well, the theory and the practice are two very different things. This was fresh out of the store. I had just bought this thing. I opened it and you would not believe the smell that came out of that thing. Obviously, something had gone wrong during the canning process and some bacteria, bug, whatever got in there had degraded and was, well, basically it smelled like rotten food. If it smells like rotten food, don't eat it just because it comes from a can. Open the can, smell it. Even within the expiration date, smell it. If it's past the expiration date a certain amount of time, it looks good, it passes the visual test, it smells good, passes the smell test. Maybe try a little bit of it. Don't eat a huge spoonful of it. Try a little bit, wait for half an hour and see if you're still feeling okay, and maybe then eat the rest, right? A little bit of common sense goes a very long way. But my point is, open the can, beyond the expiration date, test yourself to see if that's safe, right? I'm telling you, when you smell something rotten, it will be obvious the moment you open it. One more thing, if you open it and it starts like fizzing like gas, like a can that is bulging, bad sign. That means it's fermenting on the inside, something is rotting in there. Yeah, but just a little bit of fizzing, like That's also a bad sign. Okay, so we've clarified this thing about canned food lasting forever. No, it will depend. You have to check on each individual case. But I want to have things that last forever. Well, that's fine. You have foods like that. These Energy 5 bars of like a biscuit, these things have an expiration date of 20 years. So it's a long time. At the same time, as I said before, test, smell, check, see if it's looking okay, and go from that. Now, these are nice, but I keep these for emergency kits and stuff like that. If you want to store larger amounts of things, then my advice is be smart about it and rotate. Most people don't have more than 2-3 years worth of food. Most people don't have even a couple of weeks worth of food. So if you have a couple months worth of food or so on, or whatever it is the case, even if you have a year or two worth of food, if you're smart about it, this is well within the expiration date of things that you bought off the shelf. You know, you go to any supermarket and you will find stuff like this. And this is the kind of thing that can last literally forever. This is dry potato flakes. Make sure it hasn't got any additive to it. Just the potato flakes alone, especially kept in a Mylar bag like this. Dude, these things will last forever. I've had these from a different brand that were easily 3-4 years expired. You could not even tell the taste was different from fresh stuff. When it's properly dehydrated and it's just the potato flakes that looks basically like paper, that stuff, as long as there's no humidity and it's properly kept and that lasts forever. You can eat this thing 10-20 years from now, especially if it's kept airtight. Forget about it. It works great. The other thing that I really think people are overlooking is pasta. You would not believe the amount of people that survive pretty much based on pasta alone. It is not the best nutritional value. It is not the best fresh fruit. No. But it keeps you alive. If you're looking for end of the world stuff, pasta. This is okay pasta made in Italy, Barilla. It's maybe not the fanciest one, which I usually have other pasta that I like better and I also store. But this in their box, airtight, this is like a brick. You can pile these things. Look how airtight this thing is. You can even see it through the cardboard box. That's how airtight this thing is. You don't mess with this. You put one box on top of the other like a pile of bricks. You leave it there, and believe me, 5, 6, 10 years later, this, you put water, you cook it, you can still eat it. Why? Because it's the same basic product as your dry potato flakes. These things are the ones you want to store a lot of. And then, of course, you have sugar, salt, honey stores very well. There was a wheat that was found in jars in Egyptian tombs and whatnot, and it was still edible. Well, good luck cooking and eating that. I guess you could. But this, as far as I know, and based on not only what I know, but also after so many years, based on my experience, I know that these things will last way beyond the expiration dates, and you're far more likely to be able to eat this 3, 4, 5 years past the expiration date, these two, than this 5 or 6 or 10 years after the expiration date, which who knows in which state it's going to be inside in terms of the texture, flavor, degradation, or maybe just even going straight bad. Guys, that's going to be all for now. See you on our next video. Have an awesome day. Take care.